Okay, I want to talk about a facet of landscaping now that you should always keep in mind, especially with a property the size we have here. It's called adjacent landscaping. And all that infers to is that you go out onto the property and you know, it's too, you want to break up the lawn areas. There's two things to think about. The two main adjacents that you run into are called mounds, which are done by design. The point of view, when people pull into this property, they pull up where Karen's standing now. She's standing right in front of where we park our cars. And that's the first thing I want them to see. So when we first moved here, there was nothing there. We just mowed all that. And the minute we built that mound, you changed the point of view for people that come to see the house. So mounds are by design. You want to find strategic areas, and it's almost a missed opportunity if you don't have a mound somewhere on a property this size. That's by design. And so whenever you get a chance, try to figure out, especially by a driveway where people pull in and when they first see your place, when they first come up, a very inviting way to start the flow of your landscape is with a mound. That happens to be an oval, and that's a typical shape. Kidney shapes are another nice mound shape. Circles are a little bit contrived, I believe, on mounds. You always circle a tree, ornamental trees, but other than that, try to stay away from round circles. Ovals, kidney shape, scalloped edges, things like that are fine on the perimeter and out for the adjacents. All right, before we go to the island there, just while we're out here, there's how you use a circle. That's an ornamental Sargentina flowering crabapple tree, and that's a nice, there's how you cut a nice circle to fit the tree. That's a common way to handle trees that are going to stay small, ornamental trees. That's when you use your circle edge. Now, come on down. You're standing in the road right now. What you're seeing now is what people see from the road. When they come to this house, this is what they see. This is the point of view. This is the main point of view of all. And this is what you see when you pull in here. And you can see that you can just kind of see everything that's going on at a glance. Now I want to show you an island. The islands, they force your hand. You don't get the decision on that. When you're down to an island, it's because nothing else will work. And that's the case. What happened right here, can you get closer? Here's Karen's. We found this big rock on another project we were doing, and we put Karen put the address on it and everything, made it look just fancy as can be. And I got me a turtle, and I'm real happy with this. But this whole area, and you're going to pan out a little bit, this whole area at one time when I was running my business, this whole area was used for staging. There were times when I had hundreds of shrubs in here, any number of things. I did some mixing in here with sprays and things that I used in my livelihood, and all of that. And underneath this mulch, it's nothing but rock and stone, and I mean, it's crap. You can't do anything. The only shrubs that you see there are native. They were here. I just dress those up the best I can. But when you have a situation that demands an island, you try to be a little creative. So you got to look at Karen's nice little bear there. He's working today. Got the work area. You know, things like that are what make your landscape have a little personality. Don't be afraid to show some personality on these things. But you'll see that I was able to get a pretty nice edge around this. That won't always be the case. Typically with islands, you're getting into an urban sprawl area, and we have a lot of that around here. I'm in upstate New York, and we have a lot of areas where people are moving out into the woods. And one of the real drawbacks to trying to grow a lawn out there can really be a bear. So what you wind up doing, if you have a lot of trees in an area, you tend to make a nice island around them. Even if the pine needles fall down or if you have to mulch it, usually you're going to have to kill the vegetation off and then put down some sort of mulch and all that. If you can get an edge, by all means get it. But here's why you can't get a good edge on an island. I mean, quite often this is what you're faced with. I'm a good edger, but I can't beat that. But it's not so bad on this. I was able to actually get a pretty good edge. I'll explain in that book I told you about. I had to get down and cut this edge basically with the pick end of a pick and then scrape it out. There was a lot of swearing. But I have my edge, and this is an island, and you just take a look. Spacious. There's nothing fancy going on here. I didn't overdo it. Got a few pots in there. I got a bird bath the birds won't use. Got a little bear working here. He's got his lunch pail, and I got my turtle and my, the address plate there on a big old rock. And to me, this is a very nice island. I get compliments on probably as much on this as I do any of the stuff I really work hard at. That was the case here. There was no way out on this. It was going to be an island. it was a great working area when I had my business, but I knew the minute I was done working I was going to have to do something with it, and this is what we did with it. And of course, this is going to probably self-explanatory, but anybody that knows Karen and I, we love our dogs and we love our pets. And this is where they go. And we decided to make a real nice, this is a nice little woodsy backdrop. And we have Tina and Daisy and Stella and Bart here. So if you're going to do this kind of stuff, keep it understated. There's no way I'm going to cut an edge here. I'm not going to have a look at me landscape here. We have green velvet boxwood, a really good boxwood. If you get a little closer to this, Kara, if I can hold it together. Look at this. Look at the way this grows naturally. I'm going to work with it a little bit. I'm going to do some pruning. You know, maybe not a lot of shaping, but these are natural. This is green velvet boxwood. I've shown you the winter gem where you can really sculpt those, and like green mountain boxwood, boys sculpt those, but you don't do that with these. These are green velvet. They have just a beautiful natural growth. Look at the fine compound leaf on those. Look at the shine on that. This is in basically full shade, and I'm telling you what, if you're going to make a memorial for your pets, green velvet boxwood is a really good understated. Keep it understated. This is a real personal area, and we better go on. Another adjacent are perimeter edges. When we first moved here, this was all a woodland off the trunks, but there's your lilacs, and this is a place for a scalloped edge. Too often these scalloped edges are going to be these acute in and out, look at me edges. Stay away from that. If you can do a long sweeping arc into a kidney shape and a concave, if you have an area that long down through there, go ahead with your scalloped edge. That's fine, but make sure you have substantial room for the scalloped edge, and that's what we have here. I don't maintain it like I should. It was a hard edge to cut. It was like I just showed you on that island. It's a bear of an edge to keep cut, so I'm a little tardy on it. There's viburnum up there that we planted just to break this wood line up, and then the lilies came from a customer's house. I still remember them giving them to me. We put a little color in there. And we're going to show you a couple things here now. That go out of the realm of landscaping. This was here. This is interesting. Come here and show them the plow. This, when Karen and I moved here, we couldn't even get in the driveway. We've done a lot of work here. If I sound exuberant about what we've done, and I like my landscape, you're going to have to give me that one, because we moved into a place that you couldn't even get in the driveway. This place was a nightmare, and we're very proud of what we've done with it, obviously, and I'm not afraid to say it. But we found this. I think it was out, I don't remember exactly where, but it was out in the perimeter lost. I mean, it was by the mow line somewhere. I don't know how we found it. We didn't know what it was. And a friend came to stay one day, and we were BSing, and he saw that and said, look at your it's an old plow. And at one time, that was pulled by a horse on this very property that we're so proud of all the landscaping we've done to it, what we've done here. And at one time, it had a totally different dimension to it. No question, we're standing on good farmland, I imagine. And from the soil around here, the native soil, I would believe it. But we found that plow. And when you do a landscape, it's okay to have places that are special. And, here's one. There's some old farmer, probably long gone now, and he spent his days here where I spend mine, and this is what he did. So it didn't make any sense to keep it buried, so we brought it out and made it part of our landscape. I think we found a really nice place for it. People compliment it, they see it. And we, again, understated. Understate your special places. There's no look at me here. I'm not going to paint that thing. I'm not going to bring any attention to it except for my own purposes and Karen's and anybody else who happens to notice that kind of stuff. But we like to have some of that in our landscape. Lastly, we haven't talked about much, but right here's a pitchfork from a fellow that when we moved in here, I started hiking my dogs and out on the land. There's neighboring land out there, and I've spent my life now out there. And old Ralph Scudder owned that pitchfork right there. Ralph's older now. He was in his 70s, out there with a chainsaw and always working Ralph was. And we got to be good friends over the years. I hunt on his property. I'm there a lot. We hike the dogs there a lot. And Ralph's old now and can't, so they had to have a sale. Kind of broke my heart to buy that, but here's why I did it, and I knew where I was going to put it too. You meet somebody, and over the years, it starts to unfold that boy, there's something about that guy, and what it was. And the thing about Ralph was, I'm telling you, I never saw him have a bad day. He lived a simple life. He lived here all his life, out on his land, taking care of Charolais heifers, or always cutting wood, clearing, just always working. He had his dozer out there, and he just always working, and never bitched, never griped about any. I mean, never. So I thought, I've lived my life. I try to live that way. I have some meltdowns like anybody, but for the most part, when I walk in this house, I want to look at that and think, it wasn't a bad day. So I always think of Ralph and his attitude on life when I look at that pitchfork, and that's going to be my attitude. I got to tell you how much I've enjoyed this. Let me get it together here. I just hope I hope you're getting a whole lot out of this, and you see landscaping's to what it's been to me. And I just hope that I'm getting it across to you. I just hope some of you young guys out there, get out there and change your property, get your property looking like this. Do things that I guarantee you'll love it forever. It'll be a part of you. You'll get better at things. People compliment it. There's just only good things to be done by something. And if it isn't landscaping, get your asses out there and get good at something. Get out there and get good at something. Go find a trade. Do something that you can look at when you're my age and you get to be an old fat man like me. You can look back and say, holy cow, look at what I've done. Look what I've learned. And hopefully with any luck at all, it'll all pan out till you walk by a pitchfork and never have a bad day, because I don't believe in bad days, and I hope you don't either, and that's what I'm going to leave you with.